Welcome to another Make It Monday live on Facebook. I am Jamie Sales, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today is October 7th, 2024, believe it or not. Please say hello, whether you're watching live or the replay. It's always nice to know who's here with me. Tonight, hang on, it looks like you're looking at my forehead. Tonight, I have a new to me technique that I would love to share with you. I'm using some bubble wrap and it's turning. I just gave it a whirl, a little practice. Hi Emily, thanks for being here and for sharing. And I think it's going to be fun. But before we get into that, just a couple bits of business. Stampin' Up! Is offering now through Wednesday 15% off all the stamp sets in the annual catalog. Not the bundles because those are already discounted, but the regular stamp sets in the annual catalog. So I'm going to use a couple of those tonight on my project. Kits are also on sale in October, and we have our starter kit promotion going. So if you're a regular shopper or if you just are someone who would love to get a discount, join my team and that will happen for you. Ask any questions. I'd be happy to answer those for you. But I think other than that, and then this Saturday, the 12th, is my next stamp camp here at the house. So love to have you join me for that. Okay, usually the next thing I do is give away the card that I created the week before. Now, I wasn't here last week. I was traveling, had a great trip to Germany. That was a lot of fun for me. And I think the week before that was just a show and tell. I don't think I created anything. And I didn't go back and look to what I did the week before that. So when I'm done with the video tonight, I will do that. I will go back, look and see when is the last time I gave away a project, and if I have something from a past Make It Monday to give away, that will happen, but after the video, because I just, as I said, was a little late in getting all my ducks in a row today, so I didn't have a chance to go back and look at that, but we'll make that happen at the end. Hi Donna, thanks for being here and for sharing. And Donna and Emily just mentioned that they are sharing, and they did that so that their name can go in the hat the next time I give something away. And for sure that will be next week. So I think that's all the business, and we're ready to get going on our project. My table is a disaster, so ignore any mess that you see around it. And I'll turn the camera down and get started. So, as I said, it's been a little while and it's taken me a minute to figure out where we are and what we're seeing. So I see we're upside down, so I'm going to rotate the camera again. Here comes a spin. I'll get my laptop out of the way. And that feels a little low. Hang on, I'm adjusting. When it's too low, it's right where I need to put my face, and that doesn't work. Okay, so shuffling. I mentioned that I wanted to work, with a couple stamp sets that are from the annual catalog, a couple that are on sale right now through Wednesday. Sorry, I lost my laptop screen. I'm working on getting that back. This is one of them, Gone Fishing, that I'm going to use tonight. And I'm also going to use, well, I have three of them actually. My sentiment is going to come from Unbounded Love. And I'm also going to use Planted Paradise, which I don't believe we've ever used in a class. I think I used it in a live. But those are the three stamp sets that I'm using tonight. As soon as I find a place to set them. And since I already, sorry, I'm wrapping my head around how to do it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is just stamp the sentiment from Unbounded Love. We'll get that done and out of the way. I cut a label from the Unbounded Love dies. Again, the dies are not on sale, but the stamp sets are. And this one says, "May all your wishes come true," which I really like for a birthday or just, you know, wishing someone well. So I stamped that in Coastal Cabana. Stamped the same die again in Coastal Cabana on Coastal Cabana. So we have two of them. I'm going to make 2 cards if I can swing it. So we've got those ready to go. Okay, the fun technique part. I mentioned in my description it uses bubble wrap. So here's a piece of bubble wrap. This is fairly new, so the bubbles are good and thick. You know, when you use I tend to use bubble wrap and reuse it, and then the bubbles tend to flatten out. But this is a new piece. And then I have here just a piece of wax paper, because I'm going to be using some ink refills, and I don't want them to soak in or seep through. So I've got a piece of wax paper that I've doubled up, and this is going to work really well for this. So this is a white re-inker. If you buy a white ink pad, it comes with the re-inker, and I've just squeezed a little bit onto my wax paper. Hi, Peggy. Thanks for being here. And I'm going to do it in 3 spots because I'm going to do this 3 times. I saw this technique on Facebook, on the Stampin' Up Facebook page, when I was kind of looking for something new to share with you. And I thought it seemed fun, so we're giving it a try. So a little white re-inker, and now I've chosen 3 different colors. This is soft seafoam, and I'm going to do 3 dots of the seafoam because it's so light. I'm going to do a dot of balmy blue, and I think we'll give that, we're going to start with just 1 drip. I don't think it takes a lot of color, but we'll figure that out as we go. And a drop of Coastal Cabana. So what I'm going for tonight is a watery look. And I've got just some toothpicks here, and I'm going to stir each of those up separately, just mixing the white with the color. When Stampin' Up posted this technique on their page, they used a palette knife to stir. The palette knives that come with or that are used for our embossing paste. And I thought, well, that would work, but then I would have to clean my palette knife. And a toothpick works really well too, because we're working with a small quantity. And the toothpicks are just a disposable, no cleanup required kind of a thing. So there's my Coastal Cabana. So I'm just working the color into the white. And what the white does is softens the color some. And also it's going to keep the ink wet longer. Our colored inks are a dye-based ink. They dry really quickly. The white is a pigment-based ink, so it stays wet longer. So, okay, I like this color. This one looks really light, so I'm going to come in with another drop of balmy blue just to darken that up a little bit. And I think my seafoam is okay. It's very light, but it's going to work just fine for what we're going to do with it. So we'll give that another stir. So now I've got my colors. And then let's see if I can keep this all on screen tonight. Move this over to the side a little bit and then bring in my bubble wrap. You can see I've tried it in this spot right here. There's some color and here's fresh, but we're just going to recycle that same area. And I've got some sponge fingertip daubers. I've got one for each color. And I'm going to start as I usually do when I apply color with the lightest, and I'm just going to add it here and there, okay? And I'm doing an area that is approximately what am I trying to say? A little larger than my card layer would be. So I'm going to use 3 3/4 by 5 inch card layer of basic white. So I'm just applying this to all the dots that in the shape that's going to be what I feel is a little bit bigger than my 3 3/4 by 5, so that I know that I'll cover the whole thing. Now, the issue with reusing a section of bubble wrap that I've already used is it already had color on it, so it's hard to tell where the ink is fresh. So maybe I should have used a new section, but we're going to see how it works. So you just want to hit everywhere, everywhere. And if your colors mix, that works just fine for what we're going to do. You could have applied in a pattern, and I'm going to try that later, I think. But for tonight, this is what we're doing. And now here's my layer of basic white that I'm just going to set on top and rub. Rub, 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 and lift. And there is my really cool background. So you see here, it's a little bit lighter, but that's okay. It's going to work for what we are going to do. So that can be a super fun background, I think, for a lot of things. Like I said, if you had, when I applied the ink to the bubble wrap, I could have done it in stripes and made like a striped effect, like a rainbow kind of thing would have been fun. But what I was going for tonight was the look of water bubbles, which is why I chose the colors that I did and kind of mixed them all together. So we've just got a fun background there. This is going to take probably 5 to 10 minutes to dry unless you want to use your heat tool. Because of the pigment ink, it takes a little longer to dry. So here are a couple that I did ahead of time. This is the first one that I did. You can see the colors are very distinct. And then I did this one. So now the colors were starting to get mixed together. But they're both pretty fun, I think. And I've got some ink on my hands and my table. All right, I'm going to start with this lighter one, I think. Because what I wanted to do next, I'm going to kind of create a scene. But I'm bringing in the Planted Paradise stamp set, because this is one that's on sale. And we've got all these different kinds of leaves, which I thought could look like leaves at the bottom of the sea. So let me find some blocks. I was working on a lot of projects this weekend, and all my blocks still have stamps on them. So I'm looking at these stamps and trying to figure out which ones look a lot like water stamps, water plants. So there's one. I want to try and get a few different ones. Let's do this one. And where's that small bubbly looking one? Let's do this one. Apologize for that rumply noise. Okay, so I've got 3 different plants there. And I'm just going to add those to the bottom of this piece of bubble paper with different shades of green. So I've got garden green, I've got Lost Lagoon, and I have shaded spruce. And I chose darker greens because I wasn't sure how it was going to cover on top of those bubbles. So I chose darker green ink, and I chose the paper that happens to have the lighter bubbles. And I'm just going to add here and there some aquatic plants. And I have no plan for them, so we're just kind of work some in. That one should probably be the dark. Hang on, let's come over here. I don't know that I want them to go all the way across. Maybe I do. Let's see, we're going to do another tall one here. And then in the shaded spruce, some of these little ones. So I guess I do need some bigger ones going across there probably, huh? Okay, I like this one. This one feels seaweedy to me. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this all the way across the bottom. Varying the heights is best, you know, a little bit. So I've got some different heights going there. There is a shorter stamp similar to that one I could have used, but I think that will work for my ocean floor or my river floor. This one's going to be a river because I'm bringing in another set from the annual catalog. So this one's also on sale. This is Gone Fishing, and I'm using this fish right here. I'm not using the bait and the lures, just the fish this time. And where is, I'm looking for my piece of white paper. Guess we'll pull out another piece of white paper. Here's one. Okay, there's just a scrap of white. I'm stamping my fish in basic gray just because I felt that was fishy. So there's my fish. And there is, in this stamp set, a fill. So this, here's the fish outline I just stamped, and then this is a fill stamp. So you can ink that up in the same or different color and do your two-step stamping to add his scales. Now, I personally have a hard, usually I do okay with two-step stamping, but for this one, for some reason, I had a hard time lining it up. See here, my gray got a little bit over the top, and here I didn't line up my eyes, so he kind of looks like a dead fish. So rather than use that stamp, the fill stamp, what I was going to do is color them with my blends. And if you don't know, my middle name, my maiden name, is now my middle name, and it is Trout. So I'm always happy to color a trout fish. So with light petal pink, I'm going to give him a little bit of pink down the middle of his side there. And this is Light Pool Party, so we'll give him a little bit of blue. I overlap them a little bit and then let the blue come down a little bit below the pink. And this is Light Smoky Slate. So we're gonna just color the rest of him, the fins, the whole thing is gonna go Light Smoky Slate. And I'm going to go right over the soft color that I put there. It comes through a little bit. It's soft, but you can see the hint of pink the hint of blue, and that works for me. Now, I feel like he's dark, and the fins wouldn't be as dark as the rest of the scales. So this is the color lifter. This is sold as a single marker, and I'm just going over the fins a little bit with this lifter. Well, what a color lifter does is just what it says. It lifts some of the color. It's not an eraser, so it won't take it totally away, but as it dries, it lifts a bit of the color. And then when you're done, just rub it on an extra, a scrap area, and make sure there's no color left there. But if it picked up some gray, we don't want it to be gray next time we put it on a different piece. So you can see it's starting to lighten as the alcohol dries. It lightens the color on the fins. So there's my fish. You can fussy cut it or die cut it. There's one. And actually, I just realized I wanted a whole school of fish, so I pre-die cut. I guess I need to color those. Either cut this one or color those. That was my intention. I should have colored one of these to begin with. Sorry about that. So we'll just try that again. A little pink. Petal pink. Some pool party. And what I wanted to do is create like a school of fish, which is why I wanted 3 of them. The good news is this coloring goes quickly. And this one. So how are you guys? It's been a while. It feels like it's been a long time since I've been here. Hope you're all doing well. Enjoying the beginning of autumn. Okay, lift on the fins. Okay, clean that off so I don't forget. All right, now we have 3 fish, which we're going to add in kind of a school right here. And I am going to pop these up. Doing good. How was my trip? My trip was very nice, Emily. I was worried about... So the reason I went to Germany is because my husband had to be there for work. And he went ahead of me because he was working. He went several days ahead of me, and he was working, and then I joined a few days later. What that meant was I had to navigate an international airport for the first time by myself. And I had to find a cab in a country where I didn't speak the language by myself. And find the hotel, and my husband already had a room because he was there for a while, but I had to get checked into the hotel. Not checked in, but get access to his room by myself in a foreign country where I didn't speak the language. But it was great. Sorry, I'm looking for paper right now because I didn't get paper out fast enough. I didn't have any trouble with any of that. Most everyone in Germany that I came across also speaks English, which was very helpful. And we had a good time. He was working in Frankfurt, and we spent most of our time in Frankfurt. We weren't daring enough to venture too far outside of that immediate area. It was both of our first times to Europe. So, thanks, Donna. So we weren't sure how everything was going to work, and so we didn't over-plan. We just kind of hung out in Frankfurt most of the time. We did go to Heidelberg one day, which was a bus ride, about an hour bus ride. And then we had a hard time finding the bus station at the end and almost missed our bus, but we made it. So it was a good trip. I would go back again, and I would be a little more adventurous the next time. Thanks for asking. I keep losing my feed. Good color card. Yeah, I didn't put Babbel on my phone, but I had Google Translate, and that worked for everything I needed. Like I said, everyone there really spoke English amazingly well. What we used the translator on our phones for more than anything was reading the menus. Okay, while I'm putting the dimensionals on these fish, I'm stalling. I need some help. Somebody tell me. Okay, I put garden green on the back of this to tie into some of the plants. What color card base should I do? Somebody help me. Should I do like gray like the fish? Should I do a different green? Should I pick up like the one of the colors from the bubbles? Somebody help me while I'm adding dimensionals to my school of fish. And a couple on my sentiment as well. Gray. Thanks, Peggy. Going with gray. Okay. My fish, I think I said light smoky slate. So let's see how that looks. That works. I like it. Good choice. Pull out a gray. Then I do have a second card I was going to show you. It's going to go much faster because it's just to glue it together. I was going to have it done ahead of time and just pull it out at the end, but I don't. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me while I do all the things. You would have suggested blue. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to keep playing with this bubble technique. And I have a lot of fishermen in my family, so I can always use some fishing cards. So there will be more made. Now, if I had been thinking ahead of my color choices, I probably would not have put the sentiment on Coastal Cabana, but we're going to go with that anyway. The other thing I didn't plan out was embellishments. The new online exclusives that will come out next month have some flat pearls in colors that I think would have worked well with this. All right, get my fish back where we think we want them. I like it. I like it, you guys. I would have changed that color of that sentiment, but I wasn't so sure about the plants across the bottom when I did it. But you see, once you get your fish on there, it works. Oh, thanks so much, Peggy. I appreciate that. I know when I don't watch a lot of other demonstrator videos. When I do, my tolerance of the length depends on how interested I am in what they're doing. Sometimes I'm like, come on, move it along. And other times I'm into it and I don't mind at all. But I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me, and I don't want to take advantage of your time too much. Okay, let's see. For embellishments, we could do some basic pearls. What else do I have? I think I would like some, I don't know if these are still current. Flat adhesive back pearls. Those are probably retired, but that's going to be similar to what's going to be coming out in the mini. Or we could do white sequins. All right, what do we think there? I'm leaning one way, but if you all have an idea, use the pearls as bubbles. Okay, that works for me, Emily. You didn't get your blue, but you're going to get your pearls. Right, Peggy? Yeah. And it makes sense, you know. If anything you do is going to be more interesting if you're going to hang with it longer if you're interested in what's happening. You know me and my embellishments. Where? I feel like we're going to do one more up here. Good choice. Nice choice, Emily. There we go. Okay. There it is. White sequins, Peggy said. Use the, yeah. All right, well, this is where we're at with this one. I like it. Thanks, Emily. Appreciate that. Okay, what else could you do with a background like that? I'm sticking with the sea theme tonight. So here's the other one. This time I'm going to wrap some linen thread around the bottom. I have a plan this time. This is the one I did have time to think about. And I want a double layer of twine. So I'm folding it over and measuring, give myself a little bit of slack on either side to tape it down. I did, Donna, I did. I put it down. Did you see? I was pretty quick with that time. All right, some twine. And some tear and tape on the back. It's my go-to preferred adhesive for ribbon and twine. So I stick that right there. Need another piece on the other side. And I always like to put the tear and tape parallel to the edge of the paper so that I don't have to line it up exactly with where the ribbon's going to hit. All right. And for this card, I'm not worried about this laying perfectly straight. I'm okay with the wrinkles and the unevenness. So we'll stick that down there. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some glue on the back of this, and we'll glue this to our card base. For this card, I had a layer of Coastal Cabana on crumb cake. So we will add that right there. I like these colors together also. Okay, and then I have some die cuts for this one. Thank you, Donna. Donna let me borrow her Seaside Wishes dies for a project for a team meeting, and I had these extras. So Seaside Wishes is another stamp set that is currently 15% off. I'm not using the stamp set tonight because it's not a stamp set and it's at her house. But I think you'll get the idea for the card layout, and you could do the same thing with the stamps, because there's a sand dollar stamp. So you could stamp the sand dollar and then die cut it. But we're going with the dies tonight. I want to hit a little bit of crumb cake ink on that sand dollar to just bring out the dimension in that. So with my foam fingertip dauber, I'm just gonna lightly rub some crumb cake ink to kind of get that impression to stand out a little bit more. And you see I put dimensionals on the small piece. I'm going to glue the larger one down flat. And we already stamped that sentiment ahead of time. I'm using the same sentiment I did for the first one. So my thought was we'll do with two kind of water themed cards with the same bubble technique. I feel like my glue is really thin there. But I feel like they're going to have a different look. The gray versus the crumb cake, and just the fish versus the sand dollar and the starfish. We're about to find out. And I kind of want this to do, let me see if I can fit a mini dimensional right in the middle there. Aha. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to one of the arms of my starfish where it's going to hit the sand dollar, just to help support that. I might have to hold that down for a second. Okay, there we go. I was about to say my screen is really lagging behind time-wise, but it just caught up. All right, some dimensionals on my sentiment. And the particular die that I used for this sentiment cuts out a little border also. So when you cut this piece, it also cuts at the same time this piece, which goes around it. So because I'd already cut a Coastal Cabana, I have that layer also. So I thought about framing it like that, just to make that stand out a little bit. Now, the smart thing to do here, thanks Donna, the smart thing to do here would be to get out my silicone sheet and sponge some glue very lightly on here. But again, I'm not so well prepared tonight, so I didn't do that. So I'm just ever so carefully doing a very light layer, a light line of glue on this very thin piece. And now the trick is going to be to get it to fit around. Because my white sentiment piece is lifted with dimensionals, this needs to go around and down to stick to the paper underneath it. So the smart thing would have been to glue that first and then add the popped up piece, but you see that wasn't so difficult. And it just, I think, accentuates that sentiment a little bit. So, yep, well there you go. You guys are two of a kind with the beach thing. Okay, now what else does this need? A knot here or some embellishments. We could bring in those white sequins that Peggy was thinking about. White sequins or a twine knot or something. First one to pop in and get is what I'm going to do. Somebody tell me what to do. I'm waiting. Twin knot, okay. Twin knot, I assume that means a double layer of twine. If that's not what it means, I don't know what a twin knot is. I'm going to go ahead and snip this off. I usually like to tie things with the twine still attached to the spool. It's just easier to work with, I think. But I cut a really long piece here, and I think that this is... I don't always have a reason for what I do, I just do it. Let's see. I don't know where I want it. Oh, gotcha, twine knot, okay. Right over left, left over right. We'll get a square knot going here. And I think I'm gonna leave some long tails on it. The beauty of tying a knot around a piece of cord like that is that you can slide it down. If you don't like where it is, you're gonna slide it down. But I think that I do like it over here by the sand dollars. And these tails are pretty long and curly right now. I'm gonna leave them kind of long, but they will flatten out as they sit off the spool. I think I would like them to lay a little bit, but okay, there we are. Hi, Debbie. Last minute, we're just finishing up. This is card number 2 with your seaside wishes, Debbie, for those die cuts. And here was the first one I did with the Gone Fishing stamp set and the Planted Paradise plants. We used the bubble wrap technique tonight to get some, like a bubble kind of background on our paper. So there are our 2 cards. That's what I have for you tonight. Let me spin the camera around. Here comes the spin. And bring you back up so I can, whoa, sorry. My laptop just timed out again, so I don't know if you're where we're at on the screen, but hopefully you're looking at my face and not the top of my head or something. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Don't forget the annual catalog stamps are on sale now through Wednesday. Kits are on sale all of October. And my next stamp camp here at the house, we're going to do, I'm not sure, we're going to do one Halloween card, and I need to figure the rest out. But that will be this coming Saturday here at the house at 10 in the morning. If I don't see you then, I'll see you back here next Monday for another Make It Monday Live. Have a great week.